Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I want to talk about, is the term narcissist overused today? I get this so much on my social media in the comments section. Oh, here we go. Another woman talking about narcissism, talking about an ex that didn't work out. So now she's got a podcast on narcissists and everything like that. And it's not just me. It happens to a lot of people that are, out there creating narcissism awareness. You get a lot of these haters that come on and say, oh, this term is overused and everything like that. And in some cases, yes. In some cases, people do overuse the term narcissist, okay? Like they think everybody is a narcissist because of a breakup or something like that. But what a lot of these people that get on the posts and make these comments don't realize is that it's not necessarily about a love interest or a romantic partner, okay? People who have had narcissistic abuse or have been a narcissistic abuse survivor, it could have been a parent that they dealt with. It could have been a sibling they dealt with. It could have been their boss. It could have been a friend. So a narcissist, when we talk about narcissists, it's not necessarily about a breakup or an ex relationship. But is the term overused? In my opinion, any awareness is good awareness, okay? So it's important to understand that, if people talk about it, it's creating awareness. And why is awareness so important? Awareness is so important to prevent any kind of potential, damage later on. And we know that narcissists damage people. Okay, if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist or you've dealt with narcissists in your everyday life, you know the damage that these people can create. They break your self-esteem. They give people depression and anxiety, all right? They waste people's lives. There's a lot of people that have been involved with narcissists that didn't realize they were dealing with a narcissist and were maybe married or in a relationship for 20, 30 years. And then all of a sudden they wake up, they educate themselves on narcissism, and they say, oh my gosh, I dealt with a narcissist all these years and I didn't even realize it. Here I thought this person was going to change. Here I thought this person, we could come to some kind of resolution. And we all know that when you deal with a narcissist, you cannot resolve conflict most times with a narcissist because a narcissist won't see your point of view. So is narcissism overused today? Is the term, narcissist overused today? I don't think so. But people have to understand what a narcissist really is. Somebody who's narcissistic has an overinflated ego of themselves. A lot of times they feel entitled. They feel superior to the other person. A narcissist is very selfish. Generally, if you break up with somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are a narcissist. Okay? It depends on whether they have those characteristics. Do they have an elevated sense of self? Do they have a sense of entitlement? Are they very selfish? Do they flip the blame on you and can't take accountability? Those are narcissistic traits, okay? And a lot of people get very angry when people talk about narcissism because they're like, oh, I'm so tired of hearing this, and this is the new word today, narcissism and everything like that. Well, you know what? Too bad, okay? Too bad. Because the more people that are aware of these kind of characteristics, these narcissistic characteristics, the more people can prevent themselves from being entrapped by a narcissist and wasting their life away. How do I know? Because I've been a victim of that. And if I would have known what I know now back then, my whole life would have went a different route, okay? But we can't turn back the clock. We have to accept what is, okay? And in my opinion, this should be taught in high school. This should be taught in high school. Relationships, how to be in a healthy relationship should be taught in high school. These are things that, are vital to how your life is going to go. But, you're left to figure it out on the streets or through, your family or your relationships with your friends or something like that. And if you're not educated on this, you're going to get involved with somebody, and this person could be narcissistic, very selfish, and you could waste years of your life trying to work out a relationship with somebody like that, only to come to a conclusion maybe 10 years later and say to yourself, you know what? There is no resolution with somebody like that. There is no resolution with a narcissist that can't see that they're doing anything wrong, okay? And here's the thing. People say all the time, do narcissists know what they're doing? Absolutely, they know what they're doing, okay? But the difference is a narcissist rationalizes it in their minds. So in other words, they justify whatever they do. They twist it. They're delusional, okay? So in other words, if they cheat on somebody, just to give you an example, they'll rationalize it and say, well, you made me cheat, okay? You weren't affectionate, or, you used to argue with me all the time, or something like that. That's their way of taking the onus or the blame off them. It's always somebody else's fault. And I tell people this all the time, okay? You want to know how you're dealing with a narcissist? One of the basics, besides the fact that they always, they have this entitlement, or they have this grandiose sense of self. They're trying to have a grandiose sense of self, even though they're very insecure, okay? That phony, fake, self-confidence is exactly what it is. It's fake self-confidence. Inside, they're very insecure. But the way you can know that you're dealing with a narcissist is they're going to flip the blame. And you see this, like when people call out a narcissist and they say something like, well, you're a narcissist. What's the first thing that narcissist is going to do? They're going to flip it back on you and call you the narcissist, okay? Because when a narcissist fights, they don't defend themselves, okay? The best defense is an offense, and a narcissist knows that, and they're going to come back at you and attack you, okay? They're not going to sit there and defend themselves the way you defend yourself with the narcissist. Because a lot of empaths or people that are dealing with narcissists, when a narcissist attacks them, the empath starts to think to themselves, well, maybe it is my fault, okay? Or maybe I did do something wrong, okay? Because you have a sense of empathy, and you could, retrospect and look, or introspect rather, and look into yourself and say to yourself, maybe I did do something wrong. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, a narcissist can't look at themselves and say, oh, well, maybe I did do something wrong, because a narcissist can't handle shame. So they don't want to accept that they did anything wrong. So what's the first thing they're going to do? They're not even going to think like that, because they're going to flip it back on you and say that you're the problem, okay? And another way you're going to know that is if you ever say to a narcissist, well, try to think of it from my point of view. That narcissist is going to flip out and tell you, no, I'm not thinking of your point of view, because I would never be in that position to begin with, okay? A narcissist cannot empathize with your point of view. They're completely selfish, you guys, all right? They're damaged. They're damaged from a couple of factors, all right? It's, they have a genetic predisposition, a genetic component where they have a certain personality type, and then their environment, their childhood molded them into who they are, okay? Maybe they were somebody that grew up in a toxic family, or they had a parent that was an enabler that let them do whatever they want. So they have this entitled feeling they could do whatever they want, the golden child. Or they grew up in a toxic family where they didn't get the love and affection, and they felt out of control. So what are they going to do later on? They're going to try to control the relationship with you and always have the upper hand. They always know, okay? They're always right. Have you ever had a conversation with a narcissist about any kind of topic? They always have to be the authority on everything, okay? They know, they're right, and everything like that. And a lot of times when you try to give your point of view, they won't even acknowledge or validate you. Narcissists won't validate you because if they validate you, they are building you up. But I'm going off a little bit on this, you guys. What I wanted to basically talk about was how people out there are saying, oh, narcissists, that term is overused today and everything like that. Well, you know what? Yes, certain people do overuse the term because they don't know the true definition of what it means to be narcissistic. You know, a lot of people, they'll say it because they broke up from a relationship and maybe that person didn't want to be with them anymore. But if that person had the characteristics of being a narcissist, then no, it's not overused. So like I said before, I think awareness is crucial because so many people that have been through these type of relationships wish they knew this years ago so that they didn't have to deal with what they dealt with. And especially if you have children with a narcissist, you're tied to that narcissist as long as you have those children, okay? Because you're going to have to deal with issues of finances for the children, visitation with the children, any kind of issues with those children. And a narcissist can be difficult to deal with. But if you knew about narcissistic characteristics, maybe you wouldn't have gotten entangled with that narcissist and had children with that narcissist and end up where you are in life, trying to live your life and pretty much raise your kids on your own because you dealt with a narcissist that leaves the responsibility all up to you. But if you would have known about narcissism, you wouldn't have put yourself in that position. So narcissist is not overused today. It's very important to build awareness, okay? And anybody who has a criticism on that, all right, is because most times those are your narcissists making those comments because they don't want you to be aware of who they are or that they use manipulation on you, okay? They don't want people to be woke, all right? Because when people are woke, they can't manipulate as well. So it makes it more difficult for the narcissist, more people that are aware of these traits. Somebody very selfish, somebody who has no empathy, somebody who when you're suffering or you're sick doesn't care or they ghost on you. That is somebody that has no empathy. That is somebody who's narcissistic, okay? And you better be aware of people like this because if you put yourself in a position where you, let's say you get married to somebody like that and it's not so easy to walk out the door. There's a lot of people out there that are married to narcissists and can't just walk out. They need the narcissist for financial reasons. They've got to pay their bills. Maybe they have nowhere to go. So they're in a spot, you guys. They're in a spot. That's why I say all the time, and I would tell my own daughter this, you've always got to have your own thing. You can never be dependent on anybody else, okay? Even if you get married, don't ever be dependent on that person 100%. You've got to always have your own thing, okay? Whether it's your own business, your own money, you have something to fall back on, okay? Because you don't know what can happen in life. And you can marry somebody and they could be the greatest person in the world. Everybody's great in the beginning, okay? Let me just bring that up, all right? Oh, everybody's wonderful and great in the beginning and everybody's trying to please you in the beginning. But boom, after you get married, it's a whole nother ball game, okay? Then you're really going to see the core of that person. And there's red flags before you get married as well, okay? I saw red flags, but I was too young and naive to realize really what I was dealing with. And I wasn't educated at the time, okay? But I found out later on what it was all about. And if I would have known these things, my life would have went a different way, okay? And this is why we create narcissism awareness so that people can realize this and not put themselves in a pickle, okay? So, you don't want to put yourself in a spot where you're, entrapped with a narcissist and maybe you're married to them and now you have a situation where you can't just walk out because you have children together or you have financial obligations together, and you have nowhere to go because you never thought of these things. You thought this person was going to be, there for you the rest of your life. That narcissist built up this fantasy that the two of you were going to live happily ever after into the sunset, okay? That is a romance novel. That is not real life, okay? And this is another thing too, when people are young, they have this false vision of, this romantic gesture of, riding out into the sunset and being married to this wonderful girl or wonderful guy and having kids and having this wonderful life and everything like that. You can have a wonderful life, but you have to make sure that the person that you get involved with has good character, okay? Has good character. And a narcissist doesn't have good character. And these are things that you have to look at when you're meeting people. What type of character does this person have? Are they able to give? Is this person a giving person? Is this person accepting of you, of who you are? Narcissists are very critical and very judgmental, okay? And once you get involved in a relationship with a narcissist, they're going to criticize and judge everything you do, everything you say. They may judge how you look. They may judge what you do. They may judge who your friends are. They may judge your family and have comments to make about that. Okay? They're always going to be not able to accept things. All right? They're not accepting because a narcissist always is trying to get perfection. They're trying to get something that never exists. That's why a narcissist is never satisfied, all right? And you're never going to be happy with a narcissist because they're never going to accept you for who you are. They're always going to be striving for something else, something better. They don't appreciate what they have, okay? That's why they're impossible to deal with, all right? So it's very important to have narc awareness so that you see when you're dealing with these people, are they critical of you all the time? Do they judge you all the time? When people do that, you guys, they're insecure. Like a narcissist is insecure. And they feel like they're better than you, okay? When you deal with a narcissist, it's not a equal relationship, okay? The narcissist always has to feel superior, on top. And how do they do that? They do that by putting you down, okay? The more they put you down, the more they build themselves up, okay? And that's not a loving, caring, nurturing individual, okay? And that's not somebody that could love you. Because when you love somebody, you don't want to hurt that person, okay? But deep down, a narcissist is miserable inside because they're lacking that inner child of happiness, okay? And they're always searching for that kind of happiness later on. They're searching for something that doesn't exist, okay? That's why a lot of times the narcissist goes in a circle. They'll go from one partner to another partner to another partner to another partner, and they're always looking for something, okay? They're never satisfied. So if you know these things, you're able to avoid these things. So like I said, it's very important. The term narcissist is, in my opinion, any awareness is good awareness, okay? So, if people want to sit there and make comments and say, oh, the term narcissism or narcissist is overused. Well, too bad. If you don't like it, go read a different article, okay? We don't care whether you think it's overused or not. It's important to build awareness because it saves lives, okay? It saves lives. It didn't save my life because I didn't know about it years ago, but it may save somebody else's life that's going through it now and dealing with a narcissist. And if they're aware of these type of characteristics of how a narcissist is, they will not waste their life away with the wrong person or possibly have kids with a miserable narcissist that they will be fighting with and having conflict with the rest of their lives. So narc awareness is very important, okay? So I went off on a tangent this morning, you guys. I had to comment on this, all right? I hope this helps you. And if it does, please hit the subscribe button and please share the podcast. Have a great day. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Are you dealing with a toxic person or a narcissist and you don't know how to handle this person? Well, if you have a question and you want it answered, you can get a personalized video sent to you. The link is in the bio, wizio.com/the_game exposed, and ask a question and have a personalized video sent back to you answering your question. Whether you have a toxic person in your life, a narcissist, you're having a dating or relationship problem, get your question answered. Go to Wizio, WISIO.com/the_game exposed to ask a question. Links in the bio.